fear, negativity, worry, anxiety. These are the energies of nightmares. These are the energies that keep you in bondage and prevent you from living your best life. It's time to learn how to free yourself from the bondage of negativity, limiting beliefs, and fear. Welcome, everyone. It's Marsha Martin, the Heart Healer, and here to lead us out of bondage is Moses. Now, many of you may be familiar with the energy of Moses if you have ever read the Old Testament. But Moses is interesting because he is recognized by three religions: Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and also the smaller religion of the Baha'i. But Moses, who may or may not have been a real person, is the energy that helps us move from this position where we believe that we are imprisoned to the place in which we enter the promised land. And the promised land is the place that God inhabits. So Moses leads his people, and this is you, me, and every other person. Moses is just a leader, a teacher, a prophet. But let go of any religious association. So Moses leads his people out of bondage. Well, what are they in bondage to? All of us are in bondage to our own belief system, our limiting beliefs, our negative thinking, our anxiety and fear about the future, or our sorrow and grief about the past. We've got to let go of what will be, what has been, and return to this moment, this now, which is the only moment in which we can effect change. So Moses led his people out of bondage and then received the law. Well, what is the law? Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Bible in the Light of Religious Science, tells us that two things will always exist: love and the law. Love, which is all that God is composed of, is the creative power. It is the force that brings things into existence. But the law is what gives these things substance. So let's take a little deeper look at that. Love is the expansive creative power. But without the structure of the law, these things would just kind of flitter off into nothingness. So the law, the law which is the way that things become, gives us that structure within which we can live our lives. We know that the earth is constantly rotating so that the sun appears to rise and set. Doesn't, unless you are living close to one of the poles, you are not getting all day or all night. You are getting a change in the light and the dark. You're getting a change in seasons. Your body is dependent on that. Your way in the world is dependent on this schedule, on this law. But what you create is coming forth because of the love that exists within the structure, which is the law. So Moses led his people out of the bondage of negativity, of limiting beliefs, and a victim mentality of, I'm not responsible. I didn't cause me to get into this dark place. And he led them into the truth of who they are. Loving, creative beings that must exist within an unchangeable framework, which is God. God cannot be moved or changed because you're having a bad day. God will remain love, God will remain good, and God will remain within the framework that God has created. You can choose to step out into your illusion, into your sadness, into your place where things just continuously go bad. Or you can step out of that limiting belief and out of that false teaching and into the promised land of love where God is. And then your life will flow with milk and honey because you will be in a synchronistic pattern with God, and you will just automatically be in flow with the greatest good for your life. So please let us join Moses today in stepping out of the bondage of negativity and into the freedom of love. Moses also introduced us to the one God. He tells us that there is only one source of all things. You connect with only one fountain of life, and this source is evident in all products that are true. So God lays down this law or structure that will provide the greatest freedom for everyone who participates within it. For those of us who choose to go outside of this beautiful structure, we step in to that desert experience, that nightmare, that hell that we have created. And God waits for us in heaven to wake up and recognize this hell that we've created is not where we want to live. God waits for us to move back into this place of unceasing love where the laws are structured and there is stability so that we will receive the greatest good. But God does not move themselves out of their position of good just because you've chosen to interact with illusion that is bringing about a lot of negativity and doesn't feel good to you. The speed at which you adopt the way of living in love determines how quickly you move from your bondage period, your period of imprisonment, out into the land, the promised land, the land of milk and honey. The promised land is a land of high vibration. It's the land of love, joy, and peace. And it's the only place in which you will be able to meet God fully, to have a relationship with God instead of just that's somebody that I heard of through my religion, through a story, or through a movie. You want to create for yourself a relationship with God, because when you have a relationship, then you begin getting all of the benefit. So Moses wants to share with us how to overcome anxiety about the future, which is just you getting stuck in a negative loop and putting into the atmosphere all of this fear about what might happen. So Moses begins. You are in a time of great upheaval, change, and uncertainty. It may seem normal to be fearful of the future with so many unknowns in your current reality, but it is not healthy. There is no fear for what is to come that will lead you forward into a peaceful tomorrow. Like begets like. Therefore, the time that you spend today worrying about what's going to happen next is time that you are guaranteeing that you are spending with the end product of your fearful thinking. Thoughts of uncertainty today can only produce anxiety about tomorrow. Tomorrow can only carry the energy of anxiety that you created today, and so forth in an endless cycle of tormenting thoughts that leave you feeling worn out and as though this pain will be the best your life will ever have to offer. But I must ask you, why do you, as co-creators of your life experience, choose to partner with fear when you could join hands with love? I, Moses, led the people out of bondage. But what had created that bondage? Other people? Other situations? Other countries? No. The only energy holding anyone in bondage is the illusion they agree to hold close to their being. The negative and fear-filled thoughts, as well as their limited beliefs about what they were capable of, held them in a place of imprisonment within their own lives. They were both slave and slave master, just as you are to yourself. To step away from fear for the future, you must stop giving your time and attention to negativity. You must see yourself as you are, an unlimited being of power and purpose, and you must commit to holding the image of yourself as victorious no matter what challenge may arise. Your time to step out of bondage is now. Commit this day to seeing yourself as free. Hold loving, self-affirming thoughts in your heart and acknowledge that you create your reality. Don't sit in the dark any longer. Follow me, Moses, as I lead you out of the enslavement of negativity into the promised land of love and goodness. You are the master of your life. Turn your thoughts toward heaven and be free. Oh, please remember that. You are the master of your life. God has gifted you free will so that you will always understand that it is your choice to choose that which feels good. You have the opportunity every minute of every day to choose fear, to choose negativity, to choose limiting beliefs. But you also have the opportunity to grow, and as you grow, and as you begin to take responsibility for your thoughts and feelings, you have the opportunity to step out of bondage, out of darkness, and into the light where the love is waiting for you, where love is pouring forth unceasingly. And all you need to do is go where God is. Where is God? God is everywhere that feels good, everywhere that makes sense, everywhere that creates the greatest good for you and everyone around you. God is not in the hurt. God is not in the pain. God is not in the darkness. God is not in your limiting belief. But you, as a creative being of choice, may go there so that you can have the experience of what you don't want. Once you have been in bondage and in that desert of searching, which even though Moses led the people out of bondage, they were not quite ready to take responsibility. They were so used to being held prisoner by their negative thinking and their limiting beliefs that it took them quite a great deal of wandering in the desert to learn to trust God. Your journey is your choice. It can be as long or as short as you want it to be. I hope that you choose to shorten your journey by looking at that which is loving, positive, feels good, and uplifts you. I'll join you in heaven and be waiting there to welcome you in. Thanks, everyone, not just for watching, but for joining me in heaven, because we are creating an incredible world together. So for all of you who are commenting, liking, and sharing, thank you so much. You're helping this community grow, and you're making the world a better place. And for those of you who want to dive deeper, you are welcomed into my heart and onto my website. It's MarshaMartinTheHeartHealer.com. Marsha spelled M-A-R-C-I-A or MMHeartHealer.com. There are many, many free resources. If you want to expand yourself and just feel that you can do it on your own, or if you want to go deeper, join my Patreon community or have an opportunity to sign up to work with me individually. I want you to receive whatever feels best to your heart. So please visit my website and take the time that you need to search for what's going to really uplift you, guide you, and lead you into your truth. So until next week, thanks so much for being here with me and sharing this energy of Moses. I am sending you all my love and my deepest gratitude.